Good evening. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. My name's Priscilla, and today we have the beautiful Sunpsychic Jean. Yay! Thank you for being here, Sunpsychic Jean. We're not quite sure where Heather is today, but she may be joining us later. It's an odd time for us, so she may have gotten lost somewhere.
That's all right. You never know. She might pop on. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for inviting me, Priscilla. I love these Friday nights, and we have some really beautiful things to talk about. I'm
We
really
do.
looking forward to it. And I love, you know how we always love being in the guest role, and it's always a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. We always love having you on here. And this is once a month on my channel and then on your channel. It's fantastic.
Yes, I
I
think
guess
so
we could
too.
say
Looks,
some hellos to people out there. Hi, Sacred Key Codes and Viviani, Kim B, just visiting. I think I saw Craig Dixon here. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Karen Doyle, yay. So we have some different, what do you call these? Memes? They're not really memes, are they? What are they called?
mm, I think they're conversation starters, things they are, I guess, I don't know, posts that are profound and thought provoking that when I invited you and Heather onto my show, I needed a couple of conversation starters. And I love talking about the big topics, the really important topics, the topics that are,
Right.
of the day, of the moment, and really important, profound to sort of, think about and discuss and share.
Right.
And I know that when I was choosing some subjects for you two, I know that it's just really important for us to reiterate these things. Like the other day, and it's really beautiful that we have this type of information, and it's not just the clickbait, it's not just the funny, clowns or whatever, and they're funny, and that's fine, but or the
It's not
kids,
really what
there's
I'm interested in, though.
no, but there was one where it said, "Thank God for people, or this world is a better place for the people who, when you lock eyes with them, that they smile. It makes the world a better place." I mean, instead of just locking eyes with them and looking away, if you lock eyes with them, and I thought, it's just so simple. It's so beautiful. And, I mean, I know it's just a post, but it's really important too. So the things like this, I think that were something that I wanted to really talk about. And it's not easy to come up with these topics when we're live on air and talking back and forth. It's sort of like travels away. So I had some conversation starters and popped them up there.
And that's what we've got today. I've found a few that I thought were kind of beautiful and meaningful for people that we know in this crowd. But before we get there, oh my God, the aurora borealis. Oh my Lord, it's been seen all over the United States. It's just incredible. Some of the photographs that I've seen, all due to these X-class solar flares. Are you having any ascension symptoms? I'm having tons of them.
And
Crazy.
like what? What
I
what
had a
type
lot
of
of nausea,
ascension?
a lot of aches in bones and joints. I had to have a root canal today on a tooth. It just popped up all of a sudden. I mean, you can see the swollen there from
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
abscess that was in there, and that there was nothing there yesterday. It just went boom last night.
Mm.
So I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling pretty good, and I've got that taken care of. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
I, you know, I have not been having any ascension symptoms. For some reason,
You're
I'm just
lucky.
status quo right now. Hmm.
That's great. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not with these solar flares. I think it just depends on whatever energy's coming. Sometimes I don't feel them at all, but
Hmm. Hmm.
these definitely cause me some physical issues. But that's okay. It happens. JR
Hmm.
says I feel sick too.
Mm.
Denise
You know,
says son's been feeling it for a while. Yeah. All that but a root canal. Yeah. I don't know how I got that. Let's put up the first one. This has a rather strange picture, and Gene and I haven't figured it out. But your energy is what makes others fall in love with you. Your energy is what others fall in love with you. But how you make them, how you make them feel. It's not your physique, your money, or your profession that makes you magnetic. What makes you unforgettable is how you transform the hearts of those around you with your mere presence. That is your energy. That is your power. And when I was doing the ad for you, I normally just put Gene, Sunpsychic Gene, but my guys were like, nope, you got to have psychic medium healer teacher. And I'm like, okay. I wrote that out and I got to thinking about it. And I know every show, the healings that you do with what you read when you're reading on people, that
That's sweet.
is so healing. So you're healing people every single show. You know how important it is for people to contact those they love on the other side when they've gone. I had to do it when David first died. I was
Yeah.
always trying to talk to a medium until he started talking to me himself. And that was helpful, but your energy radiates that healing and teaching as well. Every show that you do, there's little nuggets of super important information that you're out there teaching people. So I had to put that in there, but I thought it
That
was
was
interesting that that it was spirit that that wrote those words, not me.
Oh, well, that's sweet of you to say. It's I think that teacher is what we call it, but what I'm doing is I'm sharing the knowledge as I'm getting it. The
Mhm.
information that I'm getting from my guides or from the information that I get through what other people ask me questions and what comes through, I think is important for me to share with everybody.
Mhm.
So it's a sharer, but I guess people would call that a teacher as well. But yeah, so I
Well,
just
my guides call you a teacher, so I'm gonna go with that.
I'm
You
not
may,
gonna argue with
be
it.
too
I'm not
modest.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. So, what do you think about this? I think the picture's really weird. I don't get the picture, other than you're
yeah,
gathering all that magnetic energy. I don't know, but let's go to
mhm.
the next one because it's kinda creepy. This one really got me. Instead of being ashamed of what you've been through, be proud of what you have overcome. N I would
And what this
imagine. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Well, what this says to me is perspective, glass half full or half empty, try and find the silver lining, try and look at the lesson in every challenge or every you know, thing that we've been through. It's really being kind to yourself and trying to look at the bright side.
Absolutely. And I have things that I'm kind of ashamed of or was ashamed of as I was growing up, things that I did. And that shame went with me until I did the shadow work and got rid of it. But it makes you feel so empowered to realize, wait a minute, I may have been way down here, but look at me now. Look at how I've learned from that. Look at how I've grown. And we each need to do that and give each ourselves grace for what we've been through. No matter what it was, you've overcome it and you're here and you've learned from it.
Yeah. It also makes me think of oh, it just left me as I'm thinking. Sorry. Um, instead of, um, oh, they say it's a lesson. And a lesson is like this, not a life sentence. So
Yeah.
don't be ashamed for your whole life for hitting the somebody's car with your door or something. Don't feel ashamed for your whole life. It was a lesson. Shut your door before whatever it was a
Whatever the
lesson.
situation
You're
is.
supposed to learn it from it and let it go, not carry it with you. And there are so many memes and things out there that
Mhm.
are, about carrying the past, and maybe if you put it down, you'd be able to move into the future, feel better about it.
Absolutely. Like Teelan says, be grateful you learned from it. And then Cody says, perspective is everything. When you change it, you change your world. Oh, that's so
That's right.
true. That is so true.
Hmm.
So much better than being vindictive because the other person knows what you did. They feel it. Yeah.
Yep.
Shedding fear, guilt, etc. is just part of learning to be a high vibrational human. Absolutely, Cody. We're all working on it, aren't we? And
Yes.
Amanda says, yes, not a life sentence. We have wonderful new paragraphs to write. Oh, I like the way you wrote that. New paragraphs to write. I like that.
Very nice. Very nice. I think that it, it's it's something that I think that if it would have been nipped in the bud when we were growing up or something, or reminded or presented to us growing up, instead of being just um give like we instead of having our parents be an example and carrying that shame with them, it's almost like a hereditary kind of thing. Like we
Yeah.
pick up the faults of our family members who always say, I can't believe I hit that car, and they worry about it their whole lives and things, and they keep bringing it up instead of teaching us and training and having us understand and show us an example. But they were given an example by their parents, and
Hmm.
it was, so it's very much, I don't know if you would say hereditary, but it's through your ancestry.
Oh, absolutely. We we get it from our parents, from our grandparents on down the line. Ancestral.
Yes, yes.
So when you feel like that, holding space for myself means permission to feel what I need to feel, space to just be here, exactly who and how I am, and to find my way forward gently. I think that's important. That
That
we,
is so beautiful. To be kind to ourselves, to be gentle with ourselves, to allow ourselves the space to just be here, to be who and how I am, and to find my way forward. It's really, we have high expectations of ourselves and of others. And it's really important to go with the flow and be gentle with ourselves. It's not really, again, I think it's societal. I think society expects us to be, reprimanded, and to reprimand ourselves for not studying for that test and like staying up all night just to study for it. Like it's okay if you didn't study and if you don't pass the test, like it's really okay. Like some
it
people
really
we
is.
take we just take ourselves so seriously sometimes, and I think it's just societal norms. But now I'm so grateful that these things are really being pointed out and displayed. And Heather's here.
Yeah,
And
I tried to
Hi,
get
Ed.
in and it kept saying, oops, there's nothing there.
oh, she was
It
going
was
in
the
on
old
the other.
link. I sent you a new
Yeah.
link. You just didn't get it.
Ah,
Thanks, Heather. You look beautiful. So nice to
Glad to
see you.
have you here.
I am so sorry for being late.
No
You're
worries.
fine. You're fine.
Okay, hiding space. Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you need to be gentle with yourself and not
Hmm.
let past mistakes and shame rule your life.
Oh, and
And
that's so easy to do.
it is.
It is.
Hey, Morella, Diane G, Dora, Denise, Gina M. Welcome, Sandra. Lots of people popping in.
Yeah, must have been, I don't know. I think it's something weird.
I
So,
hear T-Lin, by not letting go, it's affecting your ability to be your authentic self. You continue dancing around it rather than processing and let it go. Oh, so true.
and I want to ask everybody, when they were kids and in junior high and in high school and even in college, how much of that stuff really affected how you responded to everything?
Yeah, really.
All the time.
Yeah, I think back in high school and college, and I think very little of that ever mattered in my life. Very little of it. My
Oh,
life lessons had nothing to do with education, that type of education.
yeah,
Right.
and everything my parents said. And the strict, you need to do this and this and this. And so a lot of things that, for instance, all the experiences that you had, I never had any of those experiences.
And ditto, I
I,
didn't have your
yeah, I
experiences.
would have been dead if I tried any of that. My younger brother almost was. So,
Okay, let's see what's another one I've got.
yeah.
A reminder you get tested the most when it's time for you to elevate. Do not break the universe.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
I don't know whether it's true, but it feels like that's the
Oops.
way it is. I think it just all accumulates, and so you do feel that tested.
Yeah, I feel like they test you like, okay, just one last time to make sure you got it. Right.
And then they come back and test you again.
Let's see what she
I
this.
I
Hang on a
think that
minute.
makes a lot of sense, and I love the colors on that one too, and the
I know.
lotus.
I think it's beautiful.
Mhm,
Beautiful with that
mhm.
lotus up there. Melrose said, I agree as a teen. I told a horrible lie. As I was saying, I knew it. It would change me forever. I've punished myself ever since. All these decades later, I haven't forgiven myself. I
That's
Well,
think
right.
have
it's
you
time,
now?
babe.
Have you
Mhm.
now? Yes.
I hope you have by now.
Yeah. I
Oh,
really.
we've got Leanne from England. I love that.
Hi.
Hi, Leanne. I used to live in England, like 8 years. I lived in England in the Peak District. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people.
It is. It is.
You want to read this one, Heather?
Sure. Did you know that a subconscious mind does not know anyone else but you? But you didn't, I didn't. It has no conception of consciousness other than your own. I explain to students that we are criticizing others or finding fault. Our mind thinks we are speaking to ourselves.
That is really scary when you think,
Oh my gosh.
oh
Everything
my
that
God.
it's like the old phonographs. The more it went around, the deeper the groove, and it didn't matter whether you were playing it or somebody else was playing it. It's there.
A
So,
deeper groove. Wow.
uh-huh. Um, that's why it's so important to become aware of the power of your words, because often our words and feelings are directed outwardly and can rebound and cause havoc in our own lives. I remember my mom saying, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. This would be why.
Mhm, mhm,
This would be why, isn't it?
Yes, this would
mhm.
be why. Yes.
Your subconscious doesn't know that you're talking about somebody else
Mhm.
nasty. They think you're talking about you. It thinks you're talking about you. Now that is frightening. If there was ever a reason not to gossip, there you are, right there.
And don't get in a pity party, or the bashing parties. Of course, we do these things unconsciously. The majority of people do not realize that our thoughts and words are influencing and imprinting our own minds. Yeah.
Wow.
This is this could be a killer for all those quote negative unquote people.
Yeah.
It that
If you're
I
talking ugly about somebody, no wonder you feel ugly inside
uh-huh.
when you're talking crap about somebody else.
You
Yeah.
know, I think, and it's not spiritual bypassing, but some people like, I like to wear rose-colored glasses when I look at things, talk about things, and refer to different things. I like to wear rose-colored glasses. I like to look at the bright side. I like to be optimistic. I do know that there's the flip side. I do know that there is the unsavory side. I do know that there is nefarious things going on. I choose not to focus on it, and that's okay for me.
Exactly. It's
Some
what you
people
focus on.
some people
Exactly.
say it's spiritual bypassing. but it's
I don't
really
think
not. I'm working on my health. I'm extremely empathic, and I only bring in that which is of the highest love and light vibration. So why would I intentionally watch something like a scary Friday the 13th movie or something?
I
You know,
can't watch those. I've never been able to watch those.
it
I
just
have never
is
been
not,
able to. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
it really doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
allow me to open up. It doesn't allow me to reach my potential. It really doesn't. And
Mm-mm.
some people, I'm not judging anybody, but me being as sensitive as I am, I really need to watch my intake with everything. So I do get called, oh, Jean has her rose-colored glasses on, and everybody's quick to tell me, there are some people that like to steal. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not saying there's not. I'm just saying that this is what I like to focus on. It's okay to be that way.
I think
Mhm.
you have to focus on the universe that you want to create. And I want to create a universe of love. I don't want
All right.
the
This guy is a troll right here. If you can get him off of your Facebook.
Yeah.
okay. Let me go to Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm
But
not sure how to do it, but
yeah. And Leanne, we're sorry that somebody is don't respond to that person, Leanne. We'll take them out of there
hey,
for you.
can you guys please get rid of them?
Yeah.
They can't. They're on Facebook.
Oh, it's on Facebook. So how do I get rid
Yeah,
of
you
it
have
on
to block
Facebook?
it. You have to go to him, go to his
Okay, wait a
go to
minute.
his comment, and then go to his name and then block. Or you can just say only friends, but I'll show you that later. Yeah.
Okay,
It'll only be a second, but I just wanted to and see, this is what I mean. See, and Kim B says, oh, here, I can do this. I agree, Jean. I cannot deal with politics. And, it's the constant in your face, negative, 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 negative. It's important to learn. It's important to be aware. And then that's it. I don't need it repeated to me 20 times a day.
well, how do I get rid of him?
And
I've
I
got
You have to
comments.
I was gonna
touch his name and it'll go to his account.
Okay.
So, and then say block this friend or block this
Why
account.
isn't it?
When you touch his name, it'll bring up his account.
I can't get it to bring up his account. I'm poking his name and nothing's happening.
Yeah, it should go directly to his.
I got Leanne to come up, but I couldn't get him to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Come up.
And yeah, he's not really saying anything else, but he's being so Leanne can block him if he's harassing her, but I don't like what he's saying.
I don't either, but I
know.
can't seem to get rid of his butt.
Mm-hmm.
It's not doing it. That's a strange thing. I poke him and nothing happens.
of course, on mine, the arrow just disappears. And see.
Oh well.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry I can't get rid of him. He's poke.
So you were able to bring up Leanne and see her thing?
But I can't bring him up.
Huh.
I wonder if he got off.
Yeah.
Poor Leanne. Yeah, he must have gotten off because you'll have to tell me how to block people like that from Facebook. I've never had that happen before on Facebook. So.
No, I know.
Sorry about
Well, that's
that.
all right. Sorry about that, you guys. But this is a good example of keeping the cool and being positive and, seeing the glass half full. That's for sure. So Sandra says, I'm putting you back in my pocket, listening to you. Got to get something done. Okay. All right, Sandra.
and Leanne said, don't be stressed. He's irrelevant. And she hasn't seen him.
Okay.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Can't stay long. I'm at my daughter's, safe from Florida. Yay.
Yay.
So glad you're
Yay.
safe. I literally sold my house last week.
Did you?
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And my older brother lives in Florida. He said that they had to evacuate, but everything was fine and nothing was damaged.
He was in Port Charlotte, wasn't he?
Port Charles, yes.
Port Charlotte.
No,
Okay.
okay, I'll go with that. I can't remember. I have to look up.
I think it's
But April has a condo in Safety Harbor, and Safety Harbor was actually saying, yeah, they had some water, but they didn't get any damage. They were saying no trash pickup today. I mean, what town says that if there's really something wrong, you know?
Yeah, true.
So
Can I be added to the list, please? We don't have a list, Bob. We're not doing readings today. We're just chatting. Actually.
Tuesdays are readings.
Okay, we got the vibrate higher. The universe always replaces what exists in your life with something bigger and better. Don't cling to the past or fight against change. Welcome new energy. Let go of what needs to be released. There's great blessings in surrendering and allowing. Keep shining. It's so true.
And so hard to do.
It's hard. But the one thing you can guarantee in life is change.
Yes.
It's just the way it is. No matter how much you want something to stay the same, it's always changing.
It's like they say, you know, some things are permanent. They're like taxes and death. And well, we know death doesn't exist. You can put change in there now.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that it is quite difficult. It is, the familiar and what we're comfortable with and what we've established a feeling of safety around. To let that go is unsettling, and it leaves us unsure and uneasy. But it is, the universe is really just, they have our back. They want us to be reassured that they have our back, to trust and to let go. And the more that we can let go of these old paradigms, these old traditions, these old useless, the things that do not serve us anymore, the useless things, is what they want us to let go of. They don't want us to let go of how to do the Lindy. That's serving us still. We're going to be dancing the Lindy for, I don't know, another 50 years. It's not that. It's the school system. It's the, it's
trauma.
everything.
It's trauma.
It's the institutions. It's the things that were made us less than who we are supposed to be.
And I was going to say, to me, it's anything that is even the slightest related to fear.
Yep. That's exactly right.
That's exactly
anything
right.
that is around fear. Don't be careful. Don't do that. Don't, or you better not, or else, whatever this or else is. And the craziest thing, and I thought I was the outlier, and I'm not here to judge. I am not perfect, and I do not know everything. And if anybody has done this, I'm not judging you. And everybody around me in my whole life did the same thing, but I didn't. And they said, Jean, you're crazy. What are you doing? All my friends from high school went to college. They're all in debt up to above their means. They still haven't paid off all their debt, and they do not have the jobs that would enable them to pay it back off in 5 years. And for somebody to tell me that I have to go and pay tens of thousands of dollars a year just to get a good job, I just, it didn't resonate with me at that time. And I don't know why, because all my friends went. They all did. They all followed that norm, because they're like, oh, I want to get a good job. You better.
I didn't.
I got to tell you, I really have to tell you the reason why my dad wanted me to go to college. It wasn't for the education. He says, you go to college to find your husband. I'm going, what?
That's what it was like. I remember that. That's like being a debutante. It's just so you can find a husband.
But if you have the money or you have a scholarship, then go. I'm not saying there's no value in it. I'm saying that the money that they charge does not equal the payout that they promised. And
well, for your generation, that's very true. But when my school friends went to college, a lot of it was cheap. It wasn't like it is now. You did not have to pay out the kazoo and forever and ever and ever. And that's why I've paid for my grandkids to have a college education. The one that wanted it, she's got it. She's graduates in May and it suits her. She wants to be a researcher and it suits her. The other one says, nah, I'm not interested. I don't like it. I don't like that. I have no need for it. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And I used to work for special ed kids. And really, VOTEC schools get a bum rap. In some ways, they're better than the colleges are because when they walk out, they have a skill, not just all this education, but they have something that's sellable. So, and it's much cheaper.
And you get a practical education where when you're at university, so much of it is just theory. In your head. It's just theory. And Jack, when you come out, you don't know anything.
Yeah, you don't know enough. That's what you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the promise. And then there was all of these universities like popping up out of nowhere and like charging you all kinds of money, and they didn't even have a brick and mortar. And I'm like, something's not right here.
I know, right?
It was just such a scam.
It really is. It really was a scam.
I guess your generation and my generation, it really got greedy and just out of whack. It really did.
Well, I
know
really
it just got insane. But the same thing happened with jobs. Remember, you went to work for a company, you stayed there for 25, 30 years, and you retired from them. My father worked for American Airlines 90% of his career. He retired in, I think it was like 85 and died in 90. I mean, it was like he worked his butt off and then he died. How fun is that? But I remember getting a job at General Dynamics, and my father wanted me to go to work there really bad because it was such a great company and I would never get laid off. And, I could stay there forever, which horrified me. So I took the job, and then I actually didn't show up because I didn't like it. Was not air conditioned. It was aircraft parts. And I thought that's insane that they're building aircraft parts and their inspection is not in a controlled environment and blah, blah. And I didn't take the job. And I took another job that I had to drive 45 minutes, well, an hour and a half actually per day. And I changed jobs every 5 years. And every time I changed a job, I was elevated. I made more money. And I became a director of a company in England. And all I have is a high school education and a couple of years of college that I wanted to take because of, I wanted to learn about plants. So I took classes that I wanted to take.
Yeah.
And
I wanted
that's fine.
I wanted to make a comment with Amanda Carroll.
Hang on a minute. I've got these starred.
Okay. But okay, I was just going to comment on what she said. Yeah.
What did she say? Art degree?
She said she has an art degree and it continues to help her with art, but she doesn't work at it. Well, I also have an art degree. And when I graduated, art teachers were a dime a dozen. Everybody wanted to be an art teacher. You couldn't even get a substitute job, and you had to have a full degree for the substitute job. But so I went into special ed. There was a call for that. That's why I ended up in special ed. And I didn't incur any real problems until when I went to grad school. It was so I could get the next job up that would pay.
Well, now you have to have a master's to be a teacher, and look at how little they pay teachers.
I
Yeah,
My
know.
daughter
Donna,
just
and
got
they,
her
and
master's in counseling and just passed her board, and my son-in-law just got his master's in teaching a year ago and is teaching, I love it, art to
yes,
the first and second graders who he adores, and they adore
but
him.
the thing is, they don't let you teach the way you were taught that you should teach. They had their own curriculum. Follow this, do this, so many days here. That's what the district is doing. So why are you making teachers go to college and get a master's when you
If you're
won't
going
let
to
them
just
use
tell them.
what they have? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
nuts.
I found the same thing was basically true of special ed. Now, when I went out and I got my first job, I was allowed to decide what the student needed, pick the books, write their curriculum for what they needed. And it was very successful. But as soon as I left, the higher up company came in, took everything I had. I don't know what they did with it, and said, these are the books you're using now. And everybody was on their books. It was no
Well,
longer
It's
individual.
just one more thing that
well,
needs to
it
be revamped.
let go. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
what we
let
need to
go and
let go
reboot.
of.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
For
yeah,
And
sure.
I saw somebody commented a little while ago that they were homeschooling. And I think that's really important too. And, and apprenticeship, all of this. I mean, and it's just let go of the things that are no longer serving you and
Mhm.
being able to have the discernment in what is serving you and what is no longer serving you, and not to do things just because it's, like I
How it's
think,
always been
Heather,
done.
you nailed it when you said anything that leaves you feeling fear or, afraid of something happening because of doing something.
that you
Um,
really need to release that.
mhm.
Oh,
And
here,
that's not an easy thing.
Amanda says, I'm really glad my daughter has not chosen college. It's just not a good investment now. She's doing really well in the restaurant world, making more money than my niece, who is a high school teacher. My sister stayed in the restaurant business forever, into her 60s. She made so much money. She loved what she did, and she had a college education and still became a waitress and loved every minute of it. Well, maybe not every minute, but And then JR says, someone told me in the 70s before high school student, you could graduate as registered nurses. You were a licensed nurse. I went to trade school and was an LVN, a licensed vocational nurse. And I would take a licensed vocational nurse over an RN back then at any time, because those nursing students that were there for their RN were dumb as hell. They had no practical experience. All they
Application.
had was the theory, and they were clueless. And the LVNs trained them.
All the work. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Leanne says, I'm a qualified chef, nail tech, beautician. I have NBQ in customer service and qualified in lip fillers and the rest. Guess what I work in? Market research. So I use them.
no,
Exactly.
Wow.
exactly. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Homeschooled for several years and son excelled unbelievably. That's
My
awesome.
grandkids were homeschooled. Now they are back to doing public school for the social aspect of it. They got caught up to
That's
where they
important.
needed to be. And so they're both in junior high and high school, and they love it. But they learned what they needed to learn through the homeschool because the other schools just weren't addressing the issues.
Crazy, isn't it? Okay. This is something different. I don't remember my dreams. Do you remember your dreams, Jean?
I don't.
I don't either.
I remembered a
Whoops.
part of one because I actually asked, what should I paint next? That's why that painting that you saw, Priscilla, ended
Isn't
up
that neat?
because that's what it came and that's what I was told to do. So that's what I did. But otherwise, I don't remember my dreams.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to read this, but I have to make it bigger because I can't see. If you can't remember your dreams, there are a lot of possible reasons why. Here's a quick list of things that are notorious for interrupting REM's sleep and significant dream experiences. 1, going to bed right after a big meal. Heavy digestion can mess with REM sleep. If you need to eat before bed, a small snack is much better idea. Going to bed intoxicated, even caffeine too close to bed can negatively affect REM sleep. 3 is exposure to blue light too close to bed. I'm guilty of this. Exposure to artificial light from screens, etc. Too close to bed can negatively impact your circadian rhythms. Now, here are a few things you can do to help remember your dreams better. Write them down when you wake up. Meditate before or after sleeping. Research significant signs and symbols in your dreams to find deeper meanings and connections to other dreams. And lastly, make sure you have a solid evening routine to get your mind and body ready for sleep. Well, I can drink coffee before I go to sleep, but maybe that's why I don't dream or can't remember my dreams. Blue light, lots of times I'm looking at my iPad right before I go to bed.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do watch some things sometimes, but I get ready for bed an hour before I expect to be in bed. And I expect to be in bed about a half an hour before I'd like to go to sleep. I really, I need that routine. I need to get my things ready in the morning. I need to get the kitchen clean. I need to get, all the lights turned. I have this ritual.
Huh. I don't have any. Hang on a
And
minute.
I think it's just Heather's feedback. And so I really sleeping. But when I was younger, I used to fall asleep on the couch, and that was like absolute torture. That I would have to peel myself up off the couch to go to bed.
Me too.
So
Hated it.
it was worse for me. And now I used to work at a chiropractor, and I had to get up at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning because the office opened at 6. So, and that was early on. And so I love getting up early, and I'm very much a morning person. My husband is not. Like, we can't talk in the morning. I'm like, bah, bah, bah. He's like, bruh.
I'm your husband.
So it's important. It's really important for me because I love having all of that energy in the morning and being well rested. It's important for me to start doing what I need to do. And, sometimes in the summer, it's still light out and I'm starting to get ready. My husband's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, I'm just getting ready. And I need to take my time, a good hour just to get ready to get in bed.
Right.
And then once I'm in bed, I need about 30 minutes to relax before I can fall asleep. If I rushed back there and tried to go to sleep, I'd be like staring at the ceiling.
Yeah.
So it's I really like sleeping. I love, taking care of things before I go to bed and having everything just so. And, probably, it just makes the morning so much easier, so much more enjoyable, I think. Yeah. And this is beautiful sleeping weather these days.
The weather's changed here in Colorado, and we have nice, cool nights and cool mornings, and it is really lovely sleeping weather. And I love getting up early and walking not your early. My early's like 8 or 9, but I get up and walk the dogs. I've been retired now for 20 years, so I sleep pretty late.
But even with all that, I just don't remember my dreams. Now, from time to time, there are some doozies
Heather,
that
that's
I
your
can
mic, and I don't
remember.
know
I
why.
just blocked it. But from time to time, there are some dreams that I do remember. And I'd say maybe 4 or 5 times a year. And I tell my husband right away, "Oh my gosh, I was just dreaming that this happened, this happened, this happened." And, I remembered them, but not ordinarily. Not, yeah.
Yeah, I
Not
have the
regular.
occasional dream that you can't bloody forget. It's just so there. I remember a dream that I had back in the 90s. I
Oh,
was gonna get married, and I was very nervous about my selection of men in the past. So I was kind of nervous. Was this the right guy or not? And I had a lucid dream where my father came and sat down next to me and told me, "Yep, you're good. It's the right thing to do. You're going to be happy. He's the one." Blah 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 blah. We were sitting in the back of my mother's car in the driveway, which is really funny because her driveway went kind of up a hill and then it was flat and then down into just slight dip down into the street. And we were sitting on that top of the hill facing out, but we were in the back seat of the car. I don't know who was in the front seat, if anybody, but I knew that I was like, "You're not supposed to be here." Oh my God. And of course I woke up crying because I was so happy to see my daddy.
oh,
It was really beautiful, but those kinds of dreams I've had maybe 3 times in my life,
mhm.
actual lucid dreams like that, and then I get, like you said, 2 or 3 dreams a year that wake me up and I remember and oh my goodness, and I can write it
Mhm.
down. But every
Right.
night, mm-mm, no way I'm gonna wake up in the morning and
Yeah.
I do
remember.
believe that you can program yourself. I think if you
I think
have a
so.
glass of water, a small glass of water, and you say, um, your intention, I intend to remember my dream, and I'm going to drink half of this glass. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to drink the rest of the glass, and I'll remember my dreams. I'm going to remember my dreams,
I haven't
and
heard
that you
that.
want to. Pardon?
I haven't
Have you
heard
heard of
that
that?
one before,
Oh, yeah.
with the water.
Yeah.
I just
It's
say when I try to do that, I just say, "I'm gonna remember my dream. I'm gonna remember my dream, I'll write it down." I used to do that with waking up. I never needed an alarm when I worked. I programmed myself to wake up at a particular time, and I did it every day, and I usually 5 minutes before the alarm went off, but I quit using the alarm because I didn't need it anymore. So if you can program yourself to do that, you should be able to program yourself to remember dreams. I
well,
just don't
that's
remember to do it every night. That's
right, to
my
set your
problem.
alarm, yeah, mhm,
Mhm.
yeah.
Amanda Carroll says, "I've been doing a closing shift before bed, getting the dishes done in a small tidy up makes the morning so much nicer." Yeah, I can't go to bed with dirty dishes. I can't do it because it's probably my coffee cup that's dirty in there, and I need that thing.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
Well, she knows she needs her coffee first thing in the morning.
Right? Heather, you don't talk to me before I've had my first cup of coffee, do you?
Absolutely not. In fact, I will bring you your coffee and leave like I did all the time.
Thanks for the warning, I'll remember that.
Yeah. Heather, why don't you do this one?
Okay, hidden fact. Food has a frequency. Ultra processed foods are between 0 and 5 megahertz. Organic foods are between 50 and 160 megahertz. Superfoods and heirloom plants are 160 to 210 megahertz. Neutral
Medicinal.
medicinal, that's the right way. Medicinal substances like herbs, Irish moss, shallot, and medicinal mushrooms are between 210 and 320 megahertz. Consuming these high frequency substances have been regarded by yogis and monks as a way to raise your own frequency, which can result in heightened consciousness, vitality, higher thought forms, and stronger intuition.
I agree 100%. That's
Right.
why I
Too.
drink yeah, I drink my mushroom coffee, and I try to eat like the one ingredient foods, like if you're going to have carrots, it's a carrot. If you're going to have, like have, they used to say less than 5 ingredients or less than 2 ingredients, but um yeah, as close to the actual
So
source
your
as
dinner is
possible.
nothing but carrots, is that what you're saying?
know that if you're going to have carrots, don't put all the like additives and the sweeteners and the juices and the toppings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Or
watched my grandkids and their highly processed meals.
Ugh.
I'm horrified. I'm like, you're eating crap. All you are eating is chemicals. The food doesn't even taste like food. It tastes chemically. Don't you think? Have you ever eaten stuff like that just does not taste like food anymore?
And I know that when I make food, of course, you and I both organic, and that's it. When we make food, it's with organic food, and they can't believe how good it tastes. That's because it hasn't been taken out and replaced with something else.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Mhm.
And so much highly processed food out there, and it's cheap, so that's what people buy,
Mhm.
and it's just junk. So sad.
it
It
is
really
very
is
sad.
disgusting.
The only foods in the grocery store worth eating are along the outer edge, the
The
produce
rim.
aisle, the meats and cheeses, and then the dairy or whatever. All the live
Mhm.
foods are on the edges. And I am not sitting here saying I'm perfect. I have had, I mean, everybody eats what they can,
Are you
but for the
kidding? I
most
gave my
part,
kids stuff to eat that probably wasn't healthy just to get her to eat when she was growing up and a
mm,
teenager.
mac and
And,
cheese.
and I want
Kraft mac and cheese out of a box. Oh my God, it's just that orange. And my
I
grandkids.
was going to say, my daughter works in a grocery store and they're closing down. And the one comment she said, I mean, you're right, Jean. All the natural food is along the edges.
Mhm.
That's the first thing that's going to be gone. All the produce is pretty well gone already, and it's only been 2 weeks. They're not bringing anything more in. What's left are all the processed foods, which is
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
shame. That's a
mhm.
I
shame.
have to go back to this because Akila says, "Wow, I dream every night. You should see my dream book." I'm jealous.
Wow.
I'm
That's
jealous.
great. I'm happy for you. Really, I am. Not something I
Akila, I
can
want to
do.
read your dream book. I bet that's a real interesting book.
I'll bet it is.
What's the next one? Most of your problems are not even your problems. You're conditioned to think in certain ways. When you break the pattern of your thinking style, you'll come to know that the problem wasn't outside, but it was in your way of thinking and perceiving things in situations as the society has taught you. When you give birth to a new mind, which is independent to think, that's when you actually start living your life with freedom. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, I was going to say, because you even have proof of that. I do too. If I wake up and say, I'm going to get this much done, or I'm going to be real happy about what's going on in this, I am. But if I wake up and say it's going to be a rotten day, boy, is it. you know?
Oh, yeah. I think you have to get out of bed with the right mindset, or you might have a crap day.
And people say, "Oh, I never thought of it like that," or "I never thought of it that way," or "I never tried it." And it changes your whole life. It's just a new way of doing
New
things or thinking
perception.
about things. It really does just flip everything. But what a beautiful image that is. I love
Mhm.
that.
Her
It's
butterfly
like a
wings in the
chakra
back.
color rainbow. I love
Yeah,
it.
beautiful.
Bringing back to this thought, I do have a story I tell about my oldest stepson. And they both the stepsons had their own rooms downstairs. And I would call them to get on the bus. And it got to be where they just all laughed because they would come up grumpy and I'd make them go back downstairs and get back in bed and get up on the other side. But they came up in a much better mood and their whole day was better. So
It worked.
it was just a matter of changing their mindset. They thought I was nuts. I said, but it works.
We've got some comments about the food I was going to put up. So, if there are health food aisles in the grocery store, then what are the rest of the aisles? Exactly.
Exactly.
Good point, Maria.
Exactly. Hi, Gemma Halliwell. I bought butcher's meat online. He loves packed lunches, but I make sure he has salad and fruit too. That's good. Yeah, Heather and I bought from a particular butcher.
Mhm.
And Teelan says, and food assistance recipients are criticized for eating the cheap processed foods. They are only given a limited amount they have to budget out for a whole month. It's no wonder they have to settle. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Topsy-turvy.
Mm-hmm. It's a no-win situation for some people.
It's another thing for us to let go.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and read, Heather. I saved this one for the last.
Okay. You have to understand that your body will take care of itself. The dream will go on by itself. You will do whatever it is you came to this earth to do without your thinking about it, without you trying to make something happen, without trying to straighten out anything in this world. This is what I mean when I say be yourself. Just be yourself. Live in the eternal now. That's being yourself. Be spontaneous. Allow the world to unfold as it should. Do not be judgmental. Look at everything fresh and new with awe. Have reverence for all in life and ask yourself, who am I? Then things will begin to happen.
I thought that
Wow.
was amazing.
So he wrote a book called Everything Leads to Silence.
Yes, looks like it.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know who he is. I just happened to see this and was in awe of it. Because it goes back to that childlike wonder and awe that we need to find again, so that we're not judging everything. Everything is interesting to a child.
Mm-hmm.
So allowing your ego to control your mind rather than your heart to control your mind. And that's sort of like where the difference
Fear
lies.
comes in,
Mm-hmm.
right? The ego is the fear monger.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I just think following our bliss, doing the things that we love, that's our purpose here, is to do those things that we love. That's why we came here, to experience. And I know we have to experience the sad with the fear with the love, because we live in a duality.
Right.
And
But we always have a choice, fear or love, in every moment. And we shouldn't feel bad if we pick fear sometimes, because we're human and it's going to happen. And we shouldn't judge ourselves for it.
just think of it as a lesson.
Mhm.
The other thing is make sure you have fun. You're supposed to enjoy your time here as well as do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
The
Make
mundane
your own
stuff.
fun. Turn up the radio. Do a dance with your broom in the kitchen. Who did I see dancing? Somebody was dancing through the storm because it was just too much to take. It was absolutely devastating and awful, and just I can't imagine living through it, let alone watching it. And they had to bypass the heaviness, the severity of the reality of what was happening, and they just started dancing. And they said, "I'm just going to keep dancing," because that's what
That's
they needed to
wonderful.
do. Yeah.
It always makes me feel so much better when I dance. I love to
Mhm.
dance, even if it's just Shake It Off to Taylor Swift's song. I don't care.
Yeah.
I
And
like to dance around my living room a lot.
Did you ever go to the discos, Priscilla?
No, I wasn't into disco. I was into heavy metal.
and I was into ballroom dancing, and people were always telling me I am a completely different person when I'm dancing than who I am when I'm not.
Wow.
So
I love that. I love ballroom dancing. It's a thing now. It's called Dancing with the Stars. It's all the rage, and it's been on for 20 years.
I know, I can't believe it. Did you
Yeah.
take ballroom dancing as a child? We took ballroom dancing like in grade school. We had to I think we were in the 6th grade, and all of us from that class, I swear, all went to Fred Leto's School of Dance.
I was going to say when I was in junior high, there was a ladies club or something that once a week they would have kids of a certain age come in. It was for like 3 years. It wasn't just ballroom dancing, because we did learn how to dance, but it was also etiquette, how do you behave at this type of thing?
Yes, yes, it was
So
that
it
too.
was etiquette and ballroom dancing. I personally took ballroom dancing when I was by myself and really enjoyed. That was my recreation was to
That's beautiful.
Fun.
dance.
That's beautiful. Well, ladies, I want to let you know that you're looking at one of the most frequent disco ladies of all time.
Is
And
that right?
Well, you're younger than
I
us.
I did the whole thing. I had the culotte skirts. I had the hair, the Sheena Easton hair up to here. You know, the
Oh,
really
wow.
high teased
Mhm.
hair. You know, the higher. It was back in those
Boy, would I
80s.
love to see pictures of that Black
I
Moon.
will show you
Mm, mm, mm.
pictures. I
Oh,
will
I
show
would
you
love to
Cool.
pictures.
see that. You
We
guys,
and
I'm sorry, but we're at an hour, and I have
okay.
to go pick up my dog from the groomer before they close. So we're gonna have to end this pretty quick. Sunpsychic Jean, thank you so much for being here. It's always so much fun to have you. I hope
Thank
the
you
chat
so much.
room enjoyed this different bit of a show, and I hope you'll come back soon. Well, I guess another month.
Yeah,
2 months.
thanks for
I mean,
having me. We're gonna tag team one
we're gonna
one
tag
month
team.
on my channel and next month on this channel. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's been so
Everybody in
much
the
fun.
chat, thanks for being here and thanks for your comments and your participation. We love that part, right?
Yep.
That's the best. And thanks for all the love and energy out there. We love that too. Meanwhile, have a fantastic weekend. Heather and I will be back with Valerie tomorrow to talk about this full moon, which is a perfect time to release. Get rid of all this stuff that's no longer serving us. And we'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Mountain. And thanks for being here. Until then, go love yourself. Send Gaia some love and take care of yourselves. We love you guys.
Yourselves in unconditional love and send it out.
Exactly. Until next time, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.